Become a patron at www.patreon.com/Golden Era Bookworm for hard to find books, scans of rare photos, and articles on the golden era of bodybuilding.
Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here. Today I want to share my experience with the 20 rep squat and how it transformed me from being a real skinny version of myself to a much more stronger version of myself. Here are two photos of me in my mid-20s with only about 2 years difference apart. The transformation is obvious. I gained about 17 kilos or 14 pounds of lean body mass, and it completely transformed me. I really need to emphasize that. From these two photos, it's quite clear the changes that occurred in my face, my body, etc. And I want to share this experience as well as the reasons why I did the 20 rep squats program, so that if you find yourself in the same situation I was in, it can hopefully help you too. Now, I was always relatively thin as a child, as you can see in these photos, and I never inherited fantastic genetics. I must have been no more than 8 or 9 years old in these photos, and you can see I'm at best average in build. My dad, pictured here with me, showed the genetic potential that lay ahead, and to be honest, it wasn't great. But, no offense to my dad, but that's the truth. As I went through my adolescent years, I grew increasingly unsatisfied with myself as my friends around filled up in their physiques, but I remained relatively light. Here is a photo of me at my prom night, and I was not very excited in going. You can see I was just a skinny kid growing into a man, but I didn't feel like one. I really didn't. And I wanted to get big. I wanted to get strong. I had started seeing the movies of Arnold and Lou. And yeah, I just wanted to be a strong, muscular man. So I began training with weights. After much trial and error and initial frustration, I one day picked up Beyond Brawn by Stuart McRobert, which had my answer, the 20 rep squat program. I followed the 20 rep squat program as outlined in the book as following. On day 1, I performed the 20 rep squat supersetted with the breathing pullover, after which I would perform the bench press for 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 12 repetitions, and then the barbell row for 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 12 repetitions, and the overhead press for 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 12 repetitions. Mind you, the 20 rep squat was only supersetted with the breathing pullover for 1 set. For day 2, I would do the 20 rep squat supersetted with the breathing pullover again for 1 set, and follow this up with dips for 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 12 reps, chin-ups for 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 12 reps, and a deadlift for only 1 set of 5 to 10 reps. The whole idea was to increase the poundage whenever possible, and I'll explain how I did that. That's using the good old double progressive resistance method of the bronze and silver era. It's very, very simple. The program is actually really basic. It's super basic, but you get big and strong real quick on a program like this. The double progressive resistance method is where you actually select a weight for a given exercise and you increase the reps slowly throughout the weeks. For example, let's say you're starting with 60 kilos on the bench press. So you want to perform 3 sets of 6 reps with that 60 kilos. And after a few weeks, when you are able to perform 12 reps for 3 sets using 60 kilos on the bench press, well, you've reached the target repetition range. And now it's time to increase the poundage and drop the repetitions and continue. So for example, now I would use 65 kilos on the bench press and drop the sets to, for example, to 2 or 3 sets and perform once again 6 repetitions. And I would do the same process again, reach 12 reps and then increase the weight again and drop the reps. And that's the double progressive resistance method. It's double progression. That's the point of the double progressive resistance method. Increase your reps and then increase the weight. My diet was also nothing special. I just followed a basic whole food diet as was outlined in the book. No supplements, no nothing. This included having 2 liters of milk a day. Of course, I built up to this and I would spread out the 2 liters throughout the day. I had everything I could. I mean, steak, eggs, liver, chicken, fish, Back then, I didn't do the 36 eggs a day program. I didn't even know about it. So I just ate any kind of animal protein. And yes, liver, I'll repeat, liver. Actually, I used to religiously eat liver almost every day or almost every second day. I also had a lot of carbs like potatoes and rice, good carbs, not crap food, right? And a lot of fruit and vegetables. It was just a constant feeding frenzy for me. And that's the thing I want to say about the 20 rep squat program. When you're doing such a program, you just get hungry. You're constantly hungry. And so it's not really like you need to force yourself to eat. You just eat. You eat, you lift and grow. I mean, I was, a 65 kilogram young boy, really. And I just was eating and eating because my body demanded it. I remember I used to go to parties and people would crowd around me and watch me eat. Once, I remember at my friend's birthday party, I ate 5 panfuls of steak. Just think about that. I mean, I was so damn hungry that I sat there and I ate 5 panfuls of steak. It must have been equivalent to about 2 kilos or more steak. I don't know. Nobody could believe it. But, to me, that was nothing back then. Now I think about it and it's like, wow, I can't believe I ate that much. But I was growing and I just was so hungry I would devour anything. Now here again are my before and after photos, which are about 2 years apart. The difference is night and day. I mean, I started weighing in at around 65 kilos with this experiment, if you want to call it. And I stopped the 20 rep squat program when I weighed at about 85 kilos. And notice I said stopped because that's the truth. I could have just kept going, right? But I decided to stop. I decided I was big enough. You can clearly see how my face changed. I mean, it didn't just fill out, but my skull itself changed and morphed into what I see in the mirror every day. I went from being a boy to being a man. It was a total transformation. And I didn't just put a little muscle here and there. No, you can clearly see in the photos. It completely changed me, right? My whole being. Although I'm standing slanted in the before photo, it's obvious how thin I was from all my previous photos I've shown you before. You can see how thin my face was as well. And in my after photo, yes, I'm standing straight in front of the camera, so obviously the difference is more amplified, but you can see my chest and shoulders grew so big that you can see my chest bursting through the singlet. In fact, I went from a small t-shirt size to a large t-shirt size in 2 years. And mind you, those large shirts that I was wearing were not baggy, but they were tight fitting, like you can see here with this singlet. It was tight fitting. And those small t-shirts I used to wear, like when I was 65 kilos, were baggy, right? So I really grew. My rib cage also definitely expanded, and it was a permanent expansion too. Now, I have demonstrated in a previous video 2 comparison photos of my rib cage development over the years after doing the 20 rep squat program, and here are the photos again. However, just to confirm the increased rib cage expansion, I recently had this test by a lung specialist because I started getting a little bit of asthma again, and he found that my rib cage size is well above normal, as my inspiratory capacity, that is my inspiratory lung capacity, which is abbreviated as IC in the report here, in this printout of my results, stands at 120%, which indicates that it is 20% above the average, at least for my height and for my weight. So, if that's not increased rib cage expansion and increased lung capacity, which the 20 rep squat definitely gave me, then I don't know what is. That's a 20% greater inspiratory capacity due to my rib cage expansion. Now, to me, this is really important because I have mentioned this in the past, that the 20 rep squat program increases your lung capacity. Because you have increased rib cage expansion, what's going to happen is your organs, such as your lungs, are going to have more space, and therefore when you start breathing in, you're going to be breathing in more air. Your heart efficiency will go up, as well as your lung capacity. These are great things for your body because it simply means that you're going to be breathing a lot more air and transporting good oxygenated blood to where the muscle is growing, right? And this is the great thing about the 20 rep squat program. You can't grow your body without making your organs more efficient. You must make your organs that feed the muscles more efficient. And that's what the 20 rep squat program does. Now, back to this comparison again. When you consider that my body fat percentage probably remained the same, I'm not going to say that I knew exactly what my body fat percentage was, but I do have a pretty good recollection. I'm pretty sure that my body fat percentage remained about the same during this transformation. Both at about, and I'm not going to exaggerate and say it was 10%. I'm going to say it was about 15%, right? I was never a fat boy when I was a kid. I was skinny, right? I was a lot of skin. So it was about 15%. And when you calculate my lean body mass at the start, it's about 55 kilos. And at the end, it works out being about 72 kilos, which is an increase of about 17 kilos of lean body mass over 2 years, all natural. That's an increase of about 40 pounds of lean body mass, steroid free. I just want to emphasize that. And it's no wonder people at the gym and everywhere else were screaming steroids. But I just took it as a compliment. I've never touched this stuff and never will. I've always believed in silver era techniques. They just work. Now, what about my strength levels? I did want to talk about this as well. As you can see, my strength levels went up dramatically, but my strength gains were not astronomical by any means. I would say my strength level got to about that of an average lifter, maybe a little bit above the average lifter. I don't care. Starting off with a squat of 20 kgs, just the Olympic bar, a deadlift of only 30 kilograms, and a bench press of only 20 kilograms. Also just, I was basically squatting and pressing the Olympic bar, right? I was a complete novice, I'll admit it. I wasn't strong at all. But by the end of this transformation, I had made significant strength gains. Again, nothing overly impressive, but not bad for a kid who had never had a personal training session in his entire life. And thank God for that, because I probably would have been put on machines instead of progressively getting stronger in functional movements. My squat went up to 100 kilos in the 20 rep squat, which is pretty awesome. My deadlift was a comfortable 140 kilograms for about 5 reps. And my bench press went up to 100 kilos for 5 repetitions. Again, never having had a single personal trainer go over any exercises with me. I just got strong over time. The increase in the 17 kilos or 40 pounds of lean body mass really got me thinking recently. Whether the 20 rep squat program increases growth hormone and androgens due to the increase in weight, as well as the structural changes my face went through. Interestingly, I remember that during the time I was doing the 20 rep squat, my bone growth was being tested for some reason, and I was injected with a radioactive tracer to visualize my epiphyseal plates to see if they had fused. The doctor was surprised when he found that my epiphyseal plates had not closed whilst I was doing the 20 rep squat program, and that the ends of my bones showed unusual signs of growth. And he predicted that I was going to grow another 1 to 2 inches in height and that my frame was going to get larger. He was right, because I ended up growing an extra 1.5 inches by the time I finished the 20 rep squat program. This is very interesting because I was reading papers recently on the effect of androgens and hormones and the role they play in the closure of the epiphyseal plate. And well, all I can say is that at the time when I was doing the 20 rep squat program, the doctor confirmed that my bones, my skeletal structure was changing, which I found rather fascinating. So does the 20 rep squat program increase androgens like testosterone? Well, many studies have shown that squats and high intensity resistance training, doing movements like the deadlift as well, full body movements, can increase testosterone and growth hormone. And so I'm pretty sure it does. Whether it affected my skeletal structure through bone growth, I don't know, but there are definitely signs that it may have. Now, if you are interested in reading more about the 20 rep squat program, I have several books on the subject, the best shown here. The Greatest Silver Era Bodybuilding Programs no doubt describes the technique of the 20 rep squat program in great detail. and as well as many other silver era techniques. Truly, it's a fantastic book. Really, for anyone that wants to get strong, that wants mass and growth, it's a great book available on my website. As I've mentioned countless times before, all the greats used the 20 rep breathing squat, including Steve Reeves, including Reg Park, who wrote his own piece on the subject in Rib Cage and Chest Development by Reg Park, available on my website, as well as Steve Reeves. But he used also later in his career a different approach, which you will find in his piece, Steve Reeves' Rib Cage Expansion Full Body Routine. All these books are available on my website, www.goldenerabookworm.com. So I do hope that you have enjoyed watching this video on how I put 40 pounds of muscle, of lean body mass, using the 20 rep squat. I do want to state that my transformation is nothing miraculous, as many people in the past have also had impressive transformations using silver era techniques. Such are the effectiveness of these techniques for natural lifters. I want to emphasize that instead. That is the truth. Silver era techniques work, full stop. I plan to do several more transformation videos, including my transformation with the 5x5 and many of Vince Gironda's programs, along with his diets. It's the truth. The silver era techniques work, period, for any natural lifter. I highly recommend them. If you have enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And to support my channel, please donate via PayPal, become a patron, or visit my website for out-of-print books and courses on old school bodybuilding. Also, please get in touch if you wish to collaborate or pass on your bodybuilding relics. This is the Golden Era Bookworm saying bye for now.